So when people ask me why the White Ribbon Campaign is an important thing for our students and for folks on our campus to engage in, generally the sort of thoughts that I think, well, I guess referencing when I first started at PLU, one, I didn't really know what the campaign was, but I think after I'd come to a MAP meeting my freshman year and just kind of see what it was like, and it was pretty interesting, and I thought it was, I was like, wow, I never really thought about this stuff. And so it was interesting because that same year, sort of that second half of the year, was when I first had an experience related to some of the topics we talked about, domestic abuse, stalking, that sort of thing. And it had happened in my personal life, but it was interesting because it was something that never really occurred to me until I had an experience with it. So I think one of the big things and why I think the White Ribbon Campaign is so important is because it helps us, especially as men, but just as students and as people on this campus and that sort of thing. I think it helps us really think about a topic that either maybe isn't thought about as much as it should be, or if it, maybe not ignored, but if it fails to come up when it needs to, and that sort of thing. So I think that's been a big thing for me in terms of really getting to experience why this is so important. I'm not saying that it takes everybody to have a personal experience with it to recognize the importance, but sometimes that's what it takes, and we understand that.
So. Yeah. I mean, there's students like me, for example, that I've been one of the fortunate ones that hasn't really had that experience, but that doesn't necessarily mean at all that's any less significant in my life. I have a large group of friends, and many of those people, I guarantee, have probably had those experiences, and that's sort of what the White Ribbon Campaign will get at. And I'm hoping that this year, late November, that I'll be able to take that chance, or not that chance, but that opportunity to learn a lot more and kind of have those opportunities for dialogue that, as somebody that has been fortunate enough to not have to go through those experiences, I'll be able to take that kind of dialogue and actually experience it and kind of see what White Ribbon is all about, but also what sort of issues it hopes to tackle as well. And then hopefully that can just kind of build those relationships I have with the people I've gotten to know at campus, but also outside of campus as well.
Well, and I think it's important for us as leaders too on this campus. I mean, we represent 3,500 students, both male, female, trans, everything in between. And I think it's really important for us as leaders and as trying to set a positive example for everyone on campus, especially two men in a power, or I guess in a position of power, if you will, quote unquote. I think
elected.
Right? Yeah. I think it's important for us to really challenge students and to help empower and encourage students to really take part in something as important as this. Because if two men in, I think what could traditionally be seen as sort of a, we fit a lot of, I guess, categories of privilege. We're white, male, middle class type of thing. But for people in a place of privilege like us, where we can really take a step back and say, I think this is an important topic and I think it needs to be talked about, and I think that we can help inspire and empower students to also recognize that and hopefully spark some more conversation just sort of surrounding the topic as a whole.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to kind of see what comes of it after the fact as well, and hopefully kind of more long-term what happens throughout the year and what White Ribbon can actually, what we can work with in terms of ASPLU, but also just as a campus community as well.
Absolutely.